morning, I'm Daryl Jones, Director of Research at Hedgeye. Welcome to the Macro Show for November 18th, 2025. The internet, or at least some parts of the internet, are down. So I think we're streaming this on YouTube. Thanks for you that have found us on YouTube. But yeah, an interesting day this morning.
Well, it's a good day for you to be wearing that hat, you know, because we can't, because this is a free show all of a sudden, right? I think it's free, right, Chandra? It's free to anybody who would know, but we can't even tweet it, so nobody would really know. So, and you don't know what the ticker is on his hat because I'm not allowed to mention the ticker, right? We're not going to talk about that. But let me ask you one question here. It's related to my number one position. And the one that I made my number one position incrementally over the course of the last 3 or 4 weeks. If the internet were to be down and you were not able to have the internet or access to anything, would you prefer to have in your pocket $1,000 worth of Bitcoin or U.S. cash?
U.S. cash.
So there is a place for these things called dollars.
There is.
Right?
There is.
Yeah, I know I'm a bit of a dinosaur on this, but I still have like some cash in my back pocket. You know, some people like millennials put a phone back there. I put cash. I always have cash. Why wouldn't you have cash? Now again, that's not why we're bullish on the dollar, but again, top 3 things in the notebook. Again, just refuting the nonsense that would be required to be part of the religious cult that is Bitcoin, which will be point number 2. Again, what you need to do is be long Bitcoin when our signal says to be long of it, and to risk manage it and or get out of it when it says to get out of it. So again, it's just a ticker, right? Again, it's not I know for many people it's their compensation mechanism, but it is what it is for them. For me, it's just a ticker. Quad 4 baskets will hit on that too. It's just turned into again, Quad 4, more and more of Quad 4 every single day, essentially, for the last 3 days. And what happens in Quad 4, again, the dollar goes up and the tizzle goes up. So again, on the U.S. dollar, there are many reasons why the U.S. dollar is going to go up anyway, including Takaichi, who's going to meet with my boy Skeletor today. You see old Skeletor? He's still alive and kicking.
Yep.
See that picture? We got that. We can't cite these things, Gendron, like our best graphics or I tweeted.
Nope. They're all gone.
They're all gone.
We're flying by the seat of our pants here today,
so
folks.
Even my half-good jokes are gone. Like, I mean, okay, thanks for coming out. But again, when you analyze the dollar, you're supposed to be analyzing the quads of Europe, the quads of Japan. Those are the 2 big ones. Obviously, places like the UK were short their currency against the dollar too. So there are a lot of different ways that we're making money being long the dollar. It is one of the most contrarian macro long positions out there after having quite a contrarian year. Don't forget, we came into the year long, and then we pivoted to Quad 4 for 3 months. Then we pivoted back to Quads 1, 2, and 3. And no matter where you go, here we are. Now we're risk managing another hybrid Quad 4 here. So again, it is what it is. Long dollars, long treasuries, long gold should all be big parts of your portfolio because they provide diversification and ballast in that Quad 4, okay? I could have went with point number 2 being gold up after we bought the damn dip in that yesterday, but instead I'll do Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin's now down not 10, which is a drawdown, not 20, where I think when it was down 18 to 20, these yo-yos, Crash Gordon was on Twitter chirping at me, the CNBC contributor. Well, that's not a crash to me. Well, now it's down 27%. What would you actually call it, Crash Gordon? That's how, congratulations, you earned yourself a nickname. It's not as good as Drawdown Josh Brown, but it's pretty good. Yeah. Right? Just another guy with some charts. I mean, that's what bull markets do, right? They make geniuses of idiots, okay? So again, and I'm every bit an idiot as anybody else when I get something wrong, but I typically don't get things that wrong. I mean, that's very, very bad. We continue to be short of storytellers and liars. Which would include Michael Saylor's MSTR, right? The BMNR, which is even better, the Bitcoin miner, BMNR, Telecom Tom stock, the pump and dump. You know, you got a whole bunch of that stuff that is getting absolutely crushed. Now, the third point this morning is the crushing, okay? At a point that they needed it the least, okay? You know, if you're on the wrong side of the economy, and the reasons why you bet on all these YOLO call options, Bitcoin and everything else going moon, is that you need to actually get yourself out of that van down by the river. I get it. I totally get it. People want to break out. I mean, break out of that. This morning I wrote my early look note reminding you on a very rich human being who started by cleaning toilets in Kentucky when he was 10 years old. Okay? Everybody wants that American dream. But again, when you get yourself into the place where you're just certifiably betting and betting in size on short-term call options, on things that lose 1 month price momentum, break my trend signal, these quad 4 baskets are all broken now. They are not healthcare stocks. Okay, that's where we pivoted the capital towards. Again, we took the capital out of some of the momentum and we put it into the pink, the XLV, the treasuries, the gold, and the dollars. If you didn't do that, like I said this morning on the call, you got one of two options today. You either get there or you hope. Hope is not a risk management process. It is part of hope.com, which Michael Saylor started pitching Bitcoin on that too. But again, quad 4 baskets, if I had a chart, I could show you. It's down 18%, the high retail sentiment basket. So if you were to take a basket of the most widely held stocks, and they don't just own stocks, those stocks, they own crypto. So Bitcoin's down 27. The basket of the consensus book is down 18. What do you think the guys and gals that are long it all with leverage are down? They're dead. Again, right? So all we're doing here is just reminding you of what quad 4 things do when quad 4 happens. So again, and again, and again, watch those baskets. Yesterday, the worst basket you could have been long were recent IPOs, actually down 3.6% on the day. So again, that's down 3.5 times what the S&P 500 was down. Profitless tech was down 3.3%, et cetera, et cetera. And those are your top 3 things. So again, what did you say 6 days ago or on October the 29th when the NASDAQ was making all-time highs? I go through that in the early look to remind you that his stock, really good book. I just started it. I want to get into it before he reported earnings because I wanted to get a better sense of the man. Like what I just told you. Like I didn't know that his favorite. Did you know that? Do you know? Actually, let me.
I actually don't know a lot about it.
Because the internet was down, so you couldn't have read my early look. So what do you think Jensen Huang, one of the richest man in the world maybe, what do you think his favorite restaurant is?
So it's a trick question. We'll start with that. Oh, I think I know this.
You know it?
I've heard. Oh, it's Denny's.
Denny's.
Yeah.
Boom. Jonesy Butts. Right.
Yeah, I think you said this on the call yesterday.
So you get your information from me? You don't need the internet.
Well, I have to check all of the information you provide me.
You know when you know
fact check it, but
fact check.
I'm kidding.
But don't tell anyone this, especially your kids. Actually, tell your kids. If you don't have the internet, if it's down, where you get to know shit is in books. These things are still like available, right? So this is a very recently written book. It's got a lot of fanfare associated with it because again, it reveals the human being that created this unbelievable American capitalist story that has become Nvidia. Did you know? Okay, here's another one for you. Did you know what the NV in Nvidia stands for?
Nano something? No.
New venture.
Oh, new venture.
So initially when they tried to make it a company, they're like, well, what the hell do we call it? And the lawyer's like, well, we're going to call it a new venture or something.
Yeah.
That's it. And then they tried to find names that would go with NV. And I think another one was taken. So they use the word envious. So that's where Nvidia came from. Now, of all the things that Telecom Tom and Dan Ives have told you about Jensen Huang and how they know about the future, have they told you that? Like Mucker knows shit, right? So again, keep reading. You're going to find yourself, again, I've been reading about a lot of leaders lately from John Malone to Jensen Huang. And what I'm trying to do is remind you that it's okay to be an American capitalist. These things all start somewhere. Again, it started at Denny's. It didn't actually start that day at Denny's, but again, it started as a great American immigration story. He moved here from Thailand. He's Taiwanese, moved from Thailand and onto one of the greatest American stocks ever. In the early look, I break it down. We can't show, I don't think we can show the graphic, but I break down, like when I look at Nvidia, I don't see the man. I don't have a relationship with him or the stock. I would never buy a stock where I have a relationship, like a sincere one with the person, because that's called MNPI. Okay, material non-public information. Now, other people like Larry Summers got in trouble for much worse things from a moral perspective. Terrible, and embarrassing story for him. But again, consistent with who I've met as a human being. He's the kind of guy that you meet him 10 times, and every time is the first time. I know him. He's a piece of shit. Now the whole world knows that, and that's who they put up on a pedestal, right? POSs. These morally void people who are using your tax dollars and the system to become rich and do shit like that, right? And that is the worst smelling of things that one could do. And again, you should have deep shame. But when you look at, if you go back to where we're at, there are many leaders out there that are providing, plenty of opportunities. But again, you don't have to own them at every price. What we want to do is break it down. And when I look at Nvidia, I don't see the man. I certainly don't see Larry Summers. I don't see Jensen Huang. I see where's the trade, where's the trend, and where's the risk range. That can be the price of copper, it could be Nvidia stock, it could be anything. That's what I'm making a decision on consistently and all the time. And what you find in fractal math is that that's the point. Is it self-similarity, repeatability, patterns at every scale from micro to macro, big to small and back again. That's the point, is that you have to remain consistent. The minute that you put your emotions into it, or I really need to be long this because I like the story, these are the kinds of things that'll get you into trouble. And if you didn't know that, now you know. It's on the tape since really the beginning to middle part of October. In some cases, in Bitcoin in particular, and in the Russell, I think the Russell peaked on, actually peaked within the same 48-hour window that the NASDAQ did. October 27th was the peak for the Russell. It's now down 7% from there. NASDAQ's down over 5%. It peaked on the 29th of October, obviously. All right, so going backwards, that's why. What is risk management rule number 1? Don't lose money. Number 2, sell some at the top end of the range in that case, and then you booked a bunch of gains in Nvidia at 207, 205, whatever the numbers were. 10% later, you're like, okay, maybe I got this at my minimum because Mucker's got his Qs at his minimum, or not. It's totally up to you. It does say bullish trend, but it needs to hold, and that level for Nvidia this morning is much more important than knowing what Jonesy Buds knows, because he knows a lot more than most people. But that number right there is much more important than Denny's. Okay, that is the trend for Nvidia. S&P 500 risk range 60 continues to drop like a rock. I wrote this. Again, I ask you again, if you did not make the decision to degross or sell last week like I did, I started selling Qs last Tuesday. You can see every move I make for those of you that are watching this for free. Unlike most people, if not all people, that talk every day about markets, I have every position in my long-only account time-stamped every single day for re-ranked sizing of position and every incremental touch on position. So you can see, and you go back, I was selling Qs on Tuesday and I think on Thursday, and if I have the days wrong, it doesn't matter, but it started on Tuesday. I'm pretty sure I have them right. But again, that's the point. You were either degrossing or you weren't. Then you get a pop in the morning yesterday. Okay, here's another chance to do what Mucker did because I didn't listen to him the first time. Oh, I'm going to hope it goes higher. Then the market's down like 1.25% intraday, and you're like, shit, I should have done it. Now today you're still doing it again. It's like over and over and over again. The only way you fix stupid is to do the right thing. Okay. So again, I'm as dumb as anybody can be in this game, and every timestamp I have can show for that. But again, the only way to get on the right side of this process is to actually execute on it on a rules-based basis. That's the whole point, the rules, okay? What else we got going on for you this morning? The VIX is in the chop bucket for the third day in a row. That's a VIX north of 19. Look at the cross-asset class vol, Jonesy. Talk about OMG. Cross-asset class vol, you have the Russell volatility and NASVol are pushing towards the fuck bucket. Okay, that's high 20s. So again, and they probably will hit the 30s, at least on the open here, with or without an internet connection. It's not like these things can't trade. They're trading obviously right now. So again, that is a clean cut. It might mean that we sell the NASDAQ at some point. Qs being it's at my minimum, so for now that's fine. It's not going to hurt me too much. But again, it is what it is. NASDAQ Composite Index trend signal support is 22,208, which is above the low end of the range. So that is constructive, at least for now. But it also means, once again, that Nvidia better deliver something where that level does not break. Nvidia is what percentage of the S&P 500? It's 7.5%. So the play on Nvidia is to do nothing pretty much, as long as you did something last week or throughout October selling at the top end of the range as we coach it. Now, on that stock, so I'd do nothing. I'd have it like below a market weight or right in line with a market weight if I'm trying to compete with the S&P 500, but I wouldn't have it at like overweight, where you're sitting there with an immediate term trade breakdown already, that, and a trend that's in play. Okay, now again, the risk range on Nvidia is actually 180 to something like 202. So this number is greater than that number. So again, the market would say it should hold trend if this holds up. But what should happen and what is happening are what we read and react towards, okay? So again, I should, if I put Jonesy out there with a minute left and we're up 2-1 against Cornell and it's at home, he should be able to get the puck out of our own zone. But if he doesn't, shit happens, right? Next game, would I put him back out there? Yeah, because the next game he probably gets it out of the zone, right? Don't confuse risk management and all the probabilities and all the decisions that you have to make with certainty, ever, right? The only thing I'm certain of is changing as the game goes using the rules that I have, right? Okay, I didn't get it out. It went off Mucker's back. I tried to ice it. Jonesy's like, shit, get out of the way, dude. And, you know, now I got to go get the puck again, right? I got to find a new way to get this thing out of here. And that's the point. Again, you got to read and react. You have to be very comfortable being uncomfortable. The best players like Jonesy in that type of a situation, you think he panics? No. Players who don't know what they're doing panic when they have the puck in that situation. And yes, we quite liked beating Cornell. One in particular where we pounded them. I think it was like 11-1. They didn't like that one at all.
Yeah, that was a beatdown.
That was we didn't need to get the puck out of the zone in that one.
No.
It was already out of the zone. It was in the back of their net. Hello to Mr. Schaefer out there, one of my great friends in hockey. What else we got going on for you this morning? We did just hire one of his alumni. Yeah. It's great. Yeah, some great stories about that gentleman. A fiery competitor that I like to compete with, but I wore the blue, not the red. What else we got going on for you this morning? Again, avoiding red is what we do. Sectors 10 out of 11 were red yesterday. Don't forget, with healthcare was only down 0.1%. That's pretty good, Jonesy. 0.09 actually. That's really good. Well, at some point it'll be a source of funds because it's been so much better. I mean, it's up 5% this month. The S&P is down 2.5. It's actually up 5.2, 5.16, right? Huge performance, right? So again, the signal has found the right places to put your hard-earned capital. I barely even corrected off my all-time highs in my long-only account. I mean, that's great. I think a lot of people are very happy with that. Thank you for the kind compliments. We, of course, appreciate it. Cross asset class vol, interesting move. Now, the move index typically goes up when bond yields go to the top end of the range. They did. This is a spot, though, like 82.5 or 83 is trend for the move, and it's like right at it. This would be a great spot for bonds to start working for real as opposed to just working a little bit yesterday. So far, so good. I think the 10-year yield's down 3 or 4 basis points. So just FYI on that. Not buying high yield on dips because it's quad 4. That's where you avoid high yield and you stay with the higher, quality. So incremental capital should be taken away from higher yield and more towards treasuries and investment grade credit. LQD, of course, is what we've been pushing towards, and BBN, which has been great, which is, of course, munis. What else we got going on for you? Tier 1 alpha data. Genron doesn't have the charts.
Internet's down.
Internet's
some of the data's down.
But Mucker got up before the internet went down, right? There you go. There you go, you dirty little Mucker, you. Yeah. Schaefer would call me something like that with an F. Yeah, he was nice. Schaefer, retired coach of Cornell. Great career he had. I just had a terrible night when we pounded him. Did I say 11-1 or was it 10?
I think it was 11-1 for some reason.
The internet's down, so we can actually just make shit up like Larry Summers. Yeah. That'd be great. For at least in our own minds, just live a lie, right? What else we got going on for you this morning? It was 10 or 11-1. I'm pretty sure it was 11. And I like the number 11. Anyway, did we say that enough times? Flip line is negative. So the Tier 1 alpha data today, if I show you, there you go. You got that. Do you have the short-term calendar vol? GVT, that's the front page of it. So that's -7. So when that one, when it starts to move left, that's not good, especially when you're making a regime shift. And you notice how it went from green to red during the regime shift, regime being this dude at Hedgeye invented quads and 3 buckets for volatility that are highly causally impacted by those quad shifts, which would include the investable bucket, a VIX that's below 19, the chop bucket, a VIX between 19 and 29, and the fuck bucket, which is anything north of 30, okay? So you'll notice that the Tier 1 alpha data, which is options data, has plenty of rhyme and rhythm associated with my signaling process and those rules that I made up. Okay, so again, I am the architect of all those things, the quads in particular, and those 3 volatility regimes and how they interact. So again, when I make decisions based on those, I suggest if you're going to pay for the process and act on it, that you act accordingly, okay? The other big thing is if you were to look at short-term calendar vol, we show it every morning, it's easier to see visually. Jonesy, that's up at 21 now. But it can get into the high 20s, and it has before. It did in the middle of October.
Do we have that chart or
we
not?
Don't. We
That's
do not.
One we don't have, okay.
But it has it pricing, it's interesting. That 21 on vol,
I was going to ask you.
which we could go to 28, 29. Again, that's front running a much higher chop bucket situation of volatility. But currently this number is not 28, it's 25. So that's where the market is currently pricing options ahead of Nvidia. Interestingly, Nvidia itself, which I don't know if we can show this data, but it's all there. It's a good thing I wrote it all down and I get up earlier. I would have nothing to tell you this morning, right? I mean, in terms of actual real-time market updates. But Nvidia's got, look at its implied vol. Can you show that or no? No? There you go. Yeah. So you see right at the bottom there where it says Nvidia under mega cap, and it says Nvidia 38% all the way go to the bottom there, a 15% implied vol premium. That's versus like 13% the day before. It's not, even though the stock was down 2% yesterday, the street's still betting that the trend hold is what, that's the way that I'd read that. Now you can read it any way you want, that there is some subjectivity to that read, just like there is at any high level, right? I can read a face-off very differently than Jonesy and we can be out there together, right? And we can still win. So that's what I read it as. I think there would be a genuine surprise and a very bad market event if Nvidia breaks trend, 177, and or even goes to the low end of its range for that matter. With this type of, I think that I'd call that somewhat complacent in terms of the option setup there. And waiting for short-term calendar vol to get up into the high 20s would certainly be something that I'll do if and when that happens. And if it doesn't, I'll do the opposite. See how that works? Oh, but I heard you say, no. That's you. That's not me. I'm very comfortable saying that now. That's what you hear and feel is on you. I cannot go, some of you are in your pajamas in the basement. I cannot be there with you today. I'm apologize in advance. I can't walk your dog. I don't know what's in between those 2 years. I can't, I don't know what meds you're on or not. I take some. I mean, obviously, can't you tell? I need them. What else we got going on for you this morning? Asia last night. How about that Japan signal? Woo! What'd I say? Review the tapes. If you don't do it every day, you don't deserve to make money. I mean, down 3.2%, Jonesy, after signaling lower highs for 2 straight days for the Nikkei. Again, much like the NASDAQ did, it's right on time. So this correction is material, and it's broadening. The Kospi was down about the same. China actually broke a medium-term trade as well. So that's what that is. Felix reviewed on the call this morning his new going from long to short. I love it when he does this to me. He goes both ways, just like me. He sits right beside me, and I like it. He went from bullish 10 cent for a long time to now bearish. So TCEHY is the ADR for that. There are a lot of Chinese shorts that are developing here, just FYI. And how about getting you out of Australia? I mean, who did that? Down another 2% last night, down like almost 6% since I got you out, or 4, 5, or 6%. What matters is what you did when I did it. Okay, I gave you the example. I said the quads are not a sell signal, and that's not the signal. The signal front runs the quads, so we'll have to see if Australia's quads start to shift here from what had been much more accommodative in terms of both signal and quad outlook. We're still short the Philippines. We're still short Europe. I mean, look at this thing. I mean, Germany's just a hot mess. It's making new cycle lows this morning. Again, that could go down a lot, right? So again, think mean reversion, okay? Now, I'm not saying that it can go to where quad 4 happened last time in April, but I'm saying there's a chance. Yeah, the chance is rising. Remember, this risk management is about probabilities changing. It's not about certainty, right? It's about having a process to incorporate that statement, again, into a decision, okay? We're good. I'm not, why does the old wall not risk manage assets this way? Because I don't work for them. I work for you. I work for me and my family. Right? I clean toilets. Port Arthur Motors in Thunder Bay, Ontario. Ask my dad. Oh, yeah. And I liked it too. Oh, yeah. I loved earning my own keep. I loved making it on my own. Great family like Jensen had. Great parents. Good. I'm not Jensen Wong. I'm Mucker. Right? Come on. Let's go. What else we got going on for you this morning? We got oil still in quad 4. Oh, what else do you see that's quad 4? Well, what's interesting is gold, again, not surprising, but it bounces. here this morning. Copper's correcting. That could be a long. I'm going to take my time here on some of those quad 4 type metals, that metals that don't quite like quad 4. Don't forget that copper's not gold. Gold is not copper. Gold is a currency in our framework and just in terms of its empirical backtests. And copper is, of course, a base metal. That said, silver's up again this morning. I bought more of that on red yesterday, and so is palladium. We're still long those two, obviously, as well, and we're short of lumber. Okay, so if there you go. Now that is a tweet. Look at the lumber. I mean, lumber. The ticker's wood. I know there's like forestry and stuff in it. Intellects, have at it. But the question is, did you short it? Yeah, we've been shorted for that whole move. It's been phenomenal. Wood is now currently, in terms of my short book, it is, I got some beauties in there. I got the Misty, which is Michael Saylor's, it's an ETF to play on the Saylor. MSTY, XLP, Japanese yen, FXY, small cap consumer staples, PSCC, wood. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Finding the alpha, that signal is. What else we got going on? That's it. Bond yields risk range is pretty tight, 405 to 416. Please don't buy bonds after they go up. Buy them when bond yields are at the top end of the range. There it is, that short-dated vol curve. Does that mean that the internet just came back?
No,
Maybe.
I just have my ways.
Oh, you are.
I got Pegler on the horn and got him to send it to me.
Can you pull that back up again? No, sorry, not the lumber, the short.
Yeah, okay.
So
first question.
So this is sort of the setup, I guess.
Yeah.
Heading into Nvidia, right?
21 at 25. So the Nvidia number that day where it says continuing claims, that's also the day that Nvidia is reporting, because they report tomorrow. So that's what it is. That number can go to 28, 29, no problem. If it does, it's going to be a shit show. The shit show's already started. The closer you are to the shit, right?
So how do you...
Profitless tech is shit.
Well, I guess what you'd probably say is you sort of wait and watch, but in theory, it could also go to... Short-dated vol could go to 15.
Yeah, yeah.
Like depending on what Nvidia does.
If Nvidia gets above 193, which is the immediate-term trade resistance, which will once again become support, 202 is not going to be the top end of the range. 207 is probably going to be, which would be back to all-time highs.
Yep.
So you can take everything that we've been risk managing, and you could say, you know, all that stuff you're talking about, the brakes on the car. I thought you said just brake. Can you just like fucking get it together already? Can you get it together? We have brakes on our car. Yes. We have been using the brakes. And if that happens, Jonesy, we will hit the accelerator. Okay? So, you know, just, you got to be able to get there. You can in everything else in life.
Yep.
Right? It's just with money, because a lot of people would like to think that they know what they're doing, but they really don't, not when the VIX moves in regimes. Like when the VIX moves to a new regime, most people do not know what they're doing. So what they do is that they panic, because that's what people who don't know what they're doing do. So again, I think that that's going to be very interesting. I would quite like that move. I mean,
well, it's actually, so it's interesting. So I, as you know, play a lot of tennis, and in tennis you're ranked. Everybody's ranked. It's 3-5, 4-0, 4-5. But you know, you play a 3-5, and the ball is going a certain speed, and the shots aren't that complex. You play a 4-5. The balls are coming so fast with so much spin, you know, it's hard to figure out what to do, right? So like, sort of like the market when volatility goes up, right?
That is it. That's exactly right. You know, apparently Jensen was quite the ping pong player.
Oh, was he?
And he would, or table tennis, I think I guess they call it. You know, people always don't call hockey they call it ice hockey. Even my wife says it sometimes. I'm like, come on, you've been married long enough. Please never call it ice hockey again. But table tennis, ping pong, he had that. Like he had that. He was architecting this thing at the back at a table at Denny's with these two guys from Sun Microsystems that were his two partners. They'd fight all the time, but they liked it because Denny's was the limitless coffee.
Yep.
So they'd be back there with the cops, and that's where they started this thing. But it's like there's so many different. And he also in his first office he had this ping pong table, so you'd have lunch like at the ping pong table or near the ping pong table. And Jensen really liked again, I'm not Jensen. Can you appreciate people appreciating other things that you've done, like cleaning the toilet, like having your teammates around you all the time? Jensen always sat by the fridge and or the ping pong table, because that's where he would hear like all of his teammates talking, and it would help him think.
Yep.
So interesting, very interesting human being, obviously one of the most interesting ones of the modern era.
All right, we're going to wrap it up there. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Back at it tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Well, what a morning, everyone. Caught me off guard there, DJ. Didn't realize we were at 9:30 already. Lots going on here today. So anyways, how we doing out there? Thank you so much for joining us today on YouTube. This was quite the morning, trying to get everything off and running. But as we say, the show must go on. So I hope you join us later today at 11 a.m. for a real conversation with Jim Rickards. Will be joining Keith. We're probably going to stream it here on YouTube as well, even if the site comes back, just to play it safe. So that'll be available in two places, hedgeye.com and here on the Hedgeye YouTube page. So again, please join us for that. Thank you for joining us here on YouTube. Thank you for your patience. We hope that the slide deck will be available eventually as well. Unfortunately, we couldn't get that up also because of the website outage. But the show must go on, and we'll hopefully see you at 11 o'clock for that real conversation. Have a good day out there.